Shalom, friends. One of the general rules of understanding why the Bible talks about some things and not other things is the idea that it never prohibits what doesn't need to be prohibited. So we're not given commands about things that are self-evident very often. Sometimes they establish general principles, but most of the time the Bible speaks to the human heart and it corrects areas of weakness, areas where we're tempted to go astray. So in this week's Torah portion, in Tetzei, the book of Deuteronomy addresses itself to the human propensity to hate. Now, it's a natural thing. People do bad things to you, you hate them. Someone creates an injustice in the world. Hate and anger are rational responses, and they're even deeper than rational responses. They're just part of our heritage. But here's the thing. The hate ultimately simmers not on the one who's being hated, but in the heart of the person who's hating. And it pulls us into its orbit, and it corrupts us. And so the Torah says, in a moment of moral clarity and brilliance, Lo tita'ev Edomi ki achicha hi, Lo tita'ev Mitzri ki ger hayita be'artso. You shall not hate an Edomite, member of the tribe of Edom, because they are your siblings. They're your brothers and your sisters. And you should not hate an Egyptian, because you were strangers in their land. Now, I want us to think about how odd that is. We weren't just strangers in their land, we were slaves. They oppressed us. Why shouldn't we hate them? And here the Torah is inviting us to hate the sin and not the sinner, to be able to hate the kind of oppression that Egyptian slavery represented, but not to take that out on individual Egyptians who might themselves be innocent of it. Right? And the same way with the Edomite, an even bigger thing. Even though there was a regular warfare between the two countries, ancient Israel and ancient Edom, we're not supposed to hate them because they are achicha. They are our brothers and our sisters. Can we train ourselves, particularly in this age with upcoming elections and partisan vitriol, can we train ourselves to remember that we're all living together? We're on this tiny blue dot, all of us together, and ultimately what will affect one will affect the other. And beyond just common sense policy for the future, how about something emotionally based? Everyone is our brother and sister, and if we can walk in the world with that awareness that people are doing the best they can, they may be profoundly wrong. We may need to argue with them. We may need sometimes to prevent them from imposing themselves improperly. But even in those cases, they remain brothers and sisters, and we remain the ger, the resident who lives with them. Can we make that happen this week? Shalom.